5 players involved in a Hockey Canada sexual assault trial are acquitted.
The Crown forced a distressing and unnecessary trial.
Despite the ruling, legal experts say this raises bigger questions.
There are still a lot of issues and problems within high-performance sport.
Plus dozens of illnesses and 2 hospitalizations now linked to the Saskatoon Farm restaurant. A much larger investigation is launched as AHS looks for a source. And the province inserts itself in Calgary's bike lanes.
And a lot of them are being utilized.
At least one councillor supports a review, but users say it's the network of the future.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A conclusion today in the blockbuster sexual assault trial of 5 former World Junior hockey players. The 5 were charged after an encounter that took place with a woman in a London, Ontario hotel room back in 2018. For hours, the judge went over the evidence and the arguments before presenting her analysis, ruling all 5 men not guilty on all counts. Alicia Philberg reports.
It's an emotional end to an historic 8-week criminal trial. Former World Junior Team Canada captain Dylan Dubé and teammates Cal Foote, Carter Hart, Michael McLeod and Alex Formanton have each been found not guilty of sexual assault. McLeod has also been found not guilty of being party to the offense.
A resounding vindication for Mr. McLeod and for his co-defendants.
We appreciate the court's careful and thorough consideration and for the just verdict delivered today.
Justice Maria Carosia didn't find the complainant EM to be credible or reliable and exaggerated her drunkenness, saying where EM had gaps in her memory, she filled them with assumptions.
She's obviously very disappointed with the verdict and very disappointed with her honor's assessment of her honesty and reliability. She's really never experienced not being believed like this before.
EM told court that on June 18th, 2018, she drank with players at Jack's Bar in London, Ontario, then arrived at a downtown hotel with Michael McLeod and had consensual sex. After McLeod sent this text to teammates asking who wants to be in a 3-way. Multiple teammates arrived at room 209. EM told court she was manipulated and intimidated into staying in the hotel room. The judge said EM seemed to encourage the men and ultimately ruled none of the players were guilty of sexual assault beyond a reasonable doubt.
Nobody in room 209 that night has emerged unscarred from this event. The criminal court process is a bruising experience for everyone, but never more than when a case is high profile incorporates such high stakes.
The prosecutor says she will carefully review the judge's decision. Alicia Philberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, reaction has been pouring in from across the hockey world and from those who work with and advocate for sexual assault victims. They say this is a loss for those who have been abused, and they feel the decision is another hurdle for victims trying to trust the judicial process. Tyson Fedor joins us now. And Tyson, the concept of consent was a key component of this trial.
Tara, the victim in this case, the judge saying today that the 2 short videos played out in court during this trial showed that she was okay with what was actually happening, and, quote, she had mentioned in a video that it was all consensual. Now, many experts we did speak with today, however, say that this case speaks about the gray area in a case like this, and at points how it really played out in that hotel room 7 years ago. All 5 former NHL players walked out of court Thursday with a judge telling them they were free to go.
Sadly, I would say that I was not surprised whatsoever.
Former Calgary Flame Dylan Dubé was one of the accused. He first took a mental health leave before being charged and suspended by the team during the 2023-2024 season, with his contract running out.
The legal system kicks out legal results. It doesn't kick out truth or justice.
Greg Gilhooly, a former hockey player, was sexually abused by his coach, Graham James. He says Hockey Canada is seeing change to the way players behave, but more needs to be done in addressing these issues.
My guess is that if you're a really, really good hockey player, you're going to be welcomed back into the NHL. And if you're a bubble hockey player, NHL teams are going to say that you're not worth the trouble.
Calgary's Communities Against Sexual Abuse says this decision is exactly why sexual assault survivors fear reporting. They do not think they will be believed in court.
We have a 6% reporting rate of sexual violence in this country. And so we also have to remember that there's that whole 94% that don't come forward. And for the 6% that do, only 3% end up in trial.
One Calgarian says she sympathizes with EM.
I know what it feels like to be having to come forward and the fear and the judgment that one might feel over that. For those 5 guys, I hope you can live with yourself with whatever choices you did or did not make.
A legal expert who researches hockey culture, violence, and masculinity in sport says there are still many troubling issues within high-performance sport.
I think that whichever way this case went, it wasn't going to, solve any problems that we see with sport culture and hockey culture.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Tonight, the NHL says the 5 players acquitted of sexual assault are ineligible to play in the league while it reviews the judge's findings. It says the allegations in the case are disturbing, even if not determined to be criminal. The league also called the behavior at issue unacceptable. We reached out to the Flames for comment on Dubé's verdict, but did not receive a response. Advocates for victims of domestic violence are calling on Ottawa to create a new section of the criminal code to help prevent future tragedies. It comes after the shocking death of Madison Cobb, killed Saturday in Calgary, allegedly by an ex-boyfriend. There's growing concern that Cobb's murder could have been prevented and that the system failed her. Stephanie Thomas reports.
The recent shooting death of Madison Cobb in a Haysboro parkade is sparking calls for change. Her ex-boyfriend, Devin Bradley Malik, is charged with first-degree murder even though Cobb had a restraining order against him.
She did everything that she was supposed to do. She got out, she got the protection order, she got all of it, and it still wasn't enough. Our laws are just not strict enough.
A community rally is set up for this weekend.
Really, the whole point of it is to be able to raise awareness about the change that needs to happen. Everybody can do something to be able to end this cycle.
Malik's family says he continued to obsess over and harass Cobb. He was even GPS tracking her car despite the court order to stay away. He was also charged with criminal harassment before her death. But advocates say more could have been done.
Often when someone pursues a restraining order or protection order, they're pursuing it because it's their only avenue. But if there was coercive control legislation, there might be an avenue that actually allows the police to lay charges, which then puts that perpetrator into a different place in terms of how the system is going to watch them.
Canadian lawmakers were close to passing a law that would make coercive control a criminal offense. But it died when the election was called, and the fate of this bill and several others is unknown until Parliament resumes in the fall.
I think that this does need to be on Canada's front burner, and I do think that it needs to be addressed. I'd like to see it addressed sooner than later.
With Cobb's death now before the courts, Calgary police will only say in a statement, "We support any measures that enhance public safety and our ability to protect the community. Additional legal tools that recognize and address this form of abuse could strengthen our efforts to support victims and hold offenders accountable." In May, the province announced a 10-year plan to end gender-based violence, with an emphasis on prevention. Questions about strengthening surveillance of violators of restraining orders and protection orders were not answered in time for our deadline.
Stephanie is at City Hall tonight, where this weekend's rally is being held. So what is next for the legislation around coercive control?
Tara, it's unclear what's next for Bill C-332. Advocates tell us that Canada lags behind other Commonwealth countries for not having laws around coercive control. And they say that it could be a game changer for criminalizing actions before it escalates to physical violence or death. Now, leaders in Calgary's domestic violence sectors tell us that they hope that a member of Parliament will revive the bill so that the process doesn't have to happen all over again. Tara?
Okay. Stephanie, thank you. Investigators are releasing more CCTV images, hoping someone can identify the suspects involved in a vicious assault on an 18-year-old earlier this month. On July 15th, the teen, while learning how to park, was assaulted with a weapon. He was trying to protect his mother, who was also in the SUV. It happened in the 6100 block of 4th Avenue Northeast. Police say the suspects in an early 2000s white Chevy Silverado tried to break into the SUV before injuring the teen. One of the men may have been wearing a mask. Police also want to hear from the people in a white Ford Fusion who may have recorded the assault. The injured teen is now recovering at home. Police say Calgary seniors have lost more than $116,000 to a roofing scam. Police are releasing flyers from the two companies involved, saying representatives from Masscraft Roofing and Masonry and Stormguard Roofing and Masonry have been offering urgent or discounted repair work. Victims are being pressured into signing contracts with upfront payments. In some instances, the work started without any contracts in place. The work is always left either incomplete or it's never started at all, and the company phone numbers and websites become inactive shortly after payment. 6 cases have been reported to police. 4 of them involve financial losses. A major telecom company is asking for people to watch out for suspicious activity after several copper thefts in just the past 2 weeks. Since July 10th, TELUS says copper wires have been stolen in 7 different incidents in the Calgary area. It's left more than 3,500 people without access to landline, internet, and cable. TELUS says it's concerned that people needing emergency services could get cut off from the grid. They say copper cable thieves are using extreme measures to get that valuable metal.
They'll scale bridges, they climb towers, they're going into locked manholes. And like I said before, they're doing everything they can to look official. Like they're wearing high-vis vests, they almost look legit, and they're getting very brazen.
In response, TELUS has brought in crews from BC and other communities in the province to restore services, weld manholes shut, and install alarms. But they are asking the community to report any suspicious activity near these sites to police or Crime Stoppers. Police are urging drivers to take precautions as they continue to search for dozens of stolen vehicles. RCMP have charged several members of an organized car theft ring responsible for taking nearly 200 vehicles. Police say the group used the Alberta Registry's third-party authorization system to register fake VIN numbers under other people's names. RCMP say reporting a missing or stolen ID to police and the banks can help stop this.
If you're the victim of stolen ID or identity theft, when you're in the registries, check and see if there's a vehicle that you don't know that is registered in your name. And if you find that, then please contact the police.
Police say you can check if a VIN is fake by taking it for an inspection or to a car dealership. Since December, police say they have recovered nearly $2 million worth of stolen cars from across Canada and overseas. We are now up to dozens of people believed to have fallen sick after eating at a restaurant at Saskatoon Farm last week. Jordan Canagan joins us now. Jordan, this is pretty serious because some people even had to be hospitalized.
Tara, Alberta Health Services is continuing to test water and food prep areas from Saskatoon Farm near Okotoks. They have now ordered all of the food facilities at the farm to close while that investigation continues. AHS says at least 88 people have become sick and 2 had to be hospitalized after eating at the restaurant on July 15th and 16th. It's a gastrointestinal illness, but the exact cause is still being determined. Earlier this week, officials from the farm said a potential issue with the water system had been discovered. A week after eating at the farm, people say they're still feeling the effects, including vomiting and diarrhea.
Alberta Health Services has been fabulous. They're on the issue. I've done some testing. I'm still waiting for the results. But no energy. I can't really eat much, living on crackers, chicken noodle soup.
Now, AHS is continuing the water and food testing and environmental inspections as well. The food facilities will remain closed until testing and deep cleaning is completed. Tara?
Okay, Jordan Canagan reporting. Jordan, thank you. It is a pretty gorgeous evening. Let's check in with Danielle. It's not going to last, sadly, though.
No, and I wish I could stay out here the whole show, Tara. It's so lovely. But yeah, this is the hottest day of the next 10 days, and it will be significantly cooler heading into Friday and the weekend. Yes, we'll drop to the teens once again. Oh boy. Okay, 27 degrees is the current temperature, also our daytime high. Lots of sunshine, few clouds out here. The wind's relatively calm at the moment as well. Looking at the next 24 hours, basically for tomorrow, just a high of 19, so almost 10 degrees cooler tomorrow. We should see a mix of sun and cloud in the morning, but by 1 in the afternoon, the risk of showers, and then by 4, the risk of thunderstorms. More details coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Folk Fest is in full swing on Princes Island Park tonight as the first performers kick off the beloved festival. This is a live shot of fans enjoying the show as Oregon artist Olive Klug and Scandinavian group Vic kick things off. 68 acts will play the festival from now until Sunday night, including headliners Steve Earle, Reckless Kelly, Cake, and Los Lobos. Musical styles will range from folk and country to alt-pop and Afro-Cuban jazz. Artists are here from across Canada and around the world, including homegrown Alberta talents.
We usually have about 13,000 people a day, and we're on track for that this year. We still have tickets left. You can still go up to the door, up to the gate and buy tickets. You can also buy them online. We also have a fair entry program this year, so we have discounted tickets for folks with a fair entry card.
You can get more information at the Calgary Folk Music Festival website. The event runs throughout the weekend. Well, the city put them in, but the province may want them out. Why the Alberta Transportation Department is taking a closer look at our bike lanes, and we'll get reaction from those who use them. And very important patients undergoing surgery thanks to the Calgary Humane Society. We'll tell you about the expansion of its spay and neuter program. That's just ahead. And if you have a news tip, you can text us anytime. The number is 10400. Alberta's Transportation Minister has launched a review into our city's network of bikeways, and he's got at least one supporter on council. But some Calgarians are telling Alberta's government to stay in its own lane when it comes to a debate on bike lanes. As Tim Brooke explains, cyclists and many pedestrians don't see an issue.
Courier Andre is a big fan of Calgary's bike lane network.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. I've been doing this 31 years.
He believes an expansion would make his career and hobby even better. But there's a chance the opposite could be coming.
I don't know why they would. It makes no sense, really.
Bike lanes are once again a political football in Alberta. The transportation minister wants the city to tap the brakes on any new lanes and confirms the province is reviewing the ones that already exist. He's backed by Ward 13's Dan McLean.
We've spent a tremendous amount of money on bike lanes, and a lot of them are being utilized.
McLean says he wants the 8th Avenue lane taken out and wants to see others, like the one on 12th, put under a magnifying glass. But he's facing pushback from the councillor with the majority of Calgary's 290-kilometre system in his area.
What's really being asked for is for everybody to bow down to an opinion. Just because someone doesn't know how to ride a bike.
City Council currently has unused approved funding for new lanes.
If you want to be a city of the next generation, you guys got to get over this.
The same debate is happening in Toronto, where the Conservative provincial government is pushing for bike lane removals against the city's wishes. There, a legal challenge is before the courts. Dreeshen wouldn't do an interview. He sent a statement saying Alberta's government supports active transportation, but that it's concerned when municipalities use taxpayer dollars to reduce road capacity at a time when the province is investing billions to expand it.
And that's taking up a lot of valuable real estate, expensive real estate.
A recent study ranks Calgary's congestion at 273rd worst in the world. Its average increase in travel time due to excess traffic is 23%. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Devin Dreeshen has also called for the cancellation of multiple new bike lanes in Edmonton. He'll meet Mayor Jyoti Gondek to discuss Calgary's situation next Wednesday. The province is highlighting its record-breaking investment into Alberta's arts sector. The government is putting more than $36 million into the arts, including a $4.5 million increase to the Alberta Foundation for the Arts. The foundation provides funding to hundreds of events and organizations throughout the year, including Alberta Ballet.
This support, we present a full main stage season in both Edmonton and Calgary, over 60 performances annually, featuring international choreographers, world-class productions, and acclaimed designers.
Arts industries in the province help bring in more than $1.3 billion in GDP every year, while supporting 18,000 jobs. The Calgary Humane Society is expanding access to low-income families looking to spay and neuter their pets. From July 27th to August 2nd, the Humane Society is partnering with local vet clinics to offer spay and neuter surgeries and basic veterinary services cost-free to animals currently on their wait list. The Humane Society says it's seen more families struggling to afford veterinary care, and there is a long lineup of people seeking support. The Humane Society says 80% of animal surrenders are due to some kind of barrier like financial issues.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now. Look ahead to our 5-day forecast. It starts out terrific.
Yes. You know, it's just a bit of a shame that we can't carry this weather off into the weekend. Yes, we could always use a little bit of rain, but we also need the bright warmth as well. And it's really just today. It starts to go downhill from here. 27 is the current temperature, also the high in Calgary. I will say that these communities, so further to the south, you're going to hold on to the heat for another day and get into the 30s in most communities. Now for us here in Calgary, this is the hottest day of the next 10, and we're going to start a decline tomorrow into the teens. Yep, and that will last them through the weekend as well. Okay, but temperatures for today, for the rest of this evening, Calgary and south, beautiful, fantastic, nice weather. So hopefully you can get outside for a walk and enjoy it. Okay, here in the yellow, we have the severe thunderstorm watch in place. But what I do want to say is the watch is in place all the way down to Airdrie and Cochrane, but there's less of a chance of seeing any sort of that activity for this evening in these areas. The most likely chance is Red Deer up to Edmonton, and even in Wetaskiwin, Camrose area, that's where there is a severe thunderstorm warning, because all the active weather is concentrated up here for now and should remain mainly up here for the rest of today. There is a small risk further south, but it's quite a small risk. Okay, so here you go. There's that activity going on closer to Edmonton, Wetaskiwin, Camrose. To the south, though, just some cloudy periods at times. And again, we're looking at quiet weather in Calgary for this evening. As we head into tomorrow, we are looking at some cloudy periods at times in the morning, but also some sunny breaks. And then by about 1 in the afternoon, as you can see, we get into the chance of some isolated showers. Then as we get to 4, that's when we get into the risk of some thunderstorm activity. So showers and thunderstorms certainly possible for and through those supper hours. And then this will carry off to the east. So in Drumheller, Hannah-Oyen, Coronation, you could see some thunderstorm activity, especially after 7 p.m. for tomorrow. Okay, and then Saturday, showers on and off throughout the day. It doesn't look like we're going to pick up a ton of rain on Saturday, maybe just a millimeter or two, but on and off showers, a bit of a gloomy day and certainly a cool one as well. This is your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 19 degrees is our high for tomorrow, so almost 10 degrees cooler tomorrow compared to today. And then sun and cloud in the morning. By 1, we get into the chance of showers, and by 4 p.m. we get into the risk of thunderstorms. On and off isolated showers for Saturday, and just a high of 15, just 18 for Sunday. And by that point, we'll hold on to the cloud cover, but just a small chance of showers by Sunday. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Well, like Calgary, southern Alberta has enjoyed plenty of rain the last few weeks. It's helped a lot for many tending farms, but it hasn't solved every problem. Drought conditions still persist. Here's Quinn Keenan.
After several dry summers in a row, this July has been a change of pace. It was predicted to be dry and hot, but has turned into one of the wetter Julys Lethbridge has seen.
It's been highly varied across much of southern Alberta, but generally wetter than normal across most areas. Lethbridge for the month of July seeing 57.6 millimeters of precipitation. And just to put that in perspective, your normal for the month of July is about 39.9 millimeters.
That's good news for farmers who have dealt with water restrictions the past several years. A dry start to the growing season had many producers burning through their allotment, but the rain helped keep the pivots at bay.
You know, we were running through the water pretty good, so it was a very nice kind of sigh of relief to know that, hey, we could turn the pivots off across the farm for, 2 weeks, that's big for us.
While the rain has been a welcome surprise this summer, southern Alberta is still dealing with drought conditions. Most rivers, creeks, and streams have been much drier than normal until the recent rain. Many areas are still dealing with water shortages.
We currently have 3 water shortage advisories, and there's actually 40 of them across the province. So it's dry most of Alberta, not just the Old Man.
Drought conditions aren't expected to go away anytime soon. This summer's rain won't do much to help reverse the drought. It would likely take several years of wet weather to get southern Alberta out of the drought.
It will probably take a few years. There's always a chance we might get an atmospheric river event where we see, even flooding. But that's usually in June, so not expecting that this year.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Remembering a wrestling superstar, how pop culture icon Hulk Hogan became a smash hit, and the controversies outside the ring. And he's getting bounced out of his own yard. The hopper infestation that is really bugging some homeowners. Larger-than-life pro wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has passed away. He dominated the sport for decades and in recent years was an avid and vocal supporter of Donald Trump. He also dabbled in film and TV before wrestling with health issues. CTV's Jean-Pierre Beauchemin looks back on the 71-year-old's life.
Hulk Hogan's legacy is tied to wrestling, of course, but ever the performer. He also took his trademark horseshoe mustache and bandanas to the music world and to TV and movie screens.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
Including in Rocky III, that propelled him to stardom. Hogan was born Terry Jean Bolea in Georgia, the son of a construction worker and a dance teacher. He built that massive physique and earned his stage name. As fellow wrestlers commented, he was bigger than Lou Ferrigno, who played Hulk on TV.
Look at this!
He then slammed his way to the very top of worldwide wrestling stardom, at his peak defeating Andre the Giant with a body slam. He often leaned into the ring persona of a flag-waving, heroic All-American.
Eat your vitamins. Be true to yourself, true to your country. Be a real American.
Though he also later played a villain, as both he had fans around the globe, including Montreal, where in 1997, Jacques Rougeau became the only Canadian wrestler to land a win against Hogan.
The greatest of all times, Hulk Hogan. And I love you, Hulk.
Rougeau last saw his friend 6 months ago as they signed championship belts.
He signed it in my name. He says, "You're the only one who beat me in Canada." He says, "You deserve this belt."
Hogan was admired by many, but faced several controversies. In 1994, he was forced to admit in court to years of steroid use and later to apologize for a racist rant caught on video. Through it all, though, his superstardom in and out of the ring remained embedded in pop culture. Hogan died at the age of 71 of cardiac arrest. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Just ahead, if you have kids, you know how busy life can be. Sometimes you just need a little minute to yourself. So this dad has found an easy solution. Our trending videos are next. Today's hot weather is a welcome relief from the rain, but it can bring its own challenges. Grasshoppers love hot weather, and it's driving one man in St. Albert buggy. Despite his efforts, he cannot seem to get rid of a plague of hoppers on his property. Merrick Takash explains.
Alan Lubberding has been keeping busy doing something he'd rather not.
I've killed by now 2 weeks, 2,000, at least 2,000.
Grasshoppers can be seen on his plants, on the sidewalk, on top of the fence, and in his pool.
Some of them are still moving. We've been living here for 30 years, never seen grasshoppers like this. In 30 years, never seen it.
Lubberding says the field behind his house belongs to the province's transportation utility corridor, and it's crawling with them.
I can kill what's in my yard, but they just keep coming over the fence from the field.
The city of St. Albert says it has received a few recent complaints. A communications advisor tells CTV News the issue is not exclusive to the city and is something areas around the province are experiencing. She added they are monitoring the situation.
Probably what happened was there might have been some green growth in a certain spot last year, and the female grasshoppers were attracted to that, laid most of their eggs there. So there's always somebody who's unlucky and they're closest to it. That could be it.
This environmental science professor says keeping your yard wet is the best way to keep them away. But when dealing with large infestations...
So there's no easy solution, unfortunately. However, finding those spots where they were laying eggs could help prevent a little bit of the problem next year.
As the weather gets warmer, more bugs are joining the fray.
They're just everywhere. Like, you can't sit and enjoy your yard, you know, and they're chewing the plants. We spend our time trying to catch and kill grasshoppers.
For now, Lubberding's grandchildren will continue to help him deal with the problem. Merrick Takash, CTV News, St. Albert.
I know they're harmless, but I don't want them on me.
Right.
Yeah.
My little one's carrying around a little container with a grasshopper for the past 4 days.
Grasshopper.
Just one, thank goodness.
All right, well, any parent will tell you once the baby learns to crawl, it changes everything.
Right.
Well, these guys had a pretty good idea. Like, you want to give the baby a little more independence.
Oh, I love.
But you also don't want to lose track of where they are. So they tied a balloon to the baby. It's festive. It's smart. It's cheap.
It's cheap.
You could lay on the couch and still know where the baby is.
And it's less annoying than a bell or something.
Yes, exactly. Yes. The baby doesn't seem to mind.
Good idea.
Sometimes making new friends can be a little scary, especially if they're much bigger than you.
He does not like the cows.
Aw, Bambi is a little golden retriever pup, terrified of these big cows. So he's holding on to his owner for dear life. Oh, poor Bambi. I think he needs to meet them.
Yeah.
Get a little closer.
Yeah.
See that they're harmless.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Well, here's a trick that not everybody can do. Pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. Right? Can you do that? You don't have to try.
I can do it, but I'm not trying. Not live.
Well, this dad is trying to get his kid to do something similar. He's trying to put sunscreen on him. Just watch.
Okay, close your eyes and close your mouth. No, close your mouth. Close your mouth.
Close it.
Close it.
Close it.
Close your mouth. Close it like this. And now close your eyes too. Now close your mouth.
This little kid can't figure it out. He can't do both at the same time. Close the mouth and close the eyes at the same time. You can hear him ask in the video, why? Like, you just can't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why it's important.
They can't use this spray one then.
No,
they
that's
They
right.
have to stick to the cream. That's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Well, you've heard the expression, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's getting harder and harder to tell, though, when the promises look so real. A word of warning about a growing number of health scams.
All right, here's your Skywatch weather cam, and what a beautiful day in the city today. A good chunk of sunshine. The temperatures got to those high 20s so far anyway, and yeah, we're gonna lose the heat right away here for tomorrow and the weekend. Oh, unfortunately. 27 degrees, the current temperature. Also our daytime high, 23 is what's normal. As we talked about, today is the hottest day of the next 10 days, likely. Okay, and as we also talked about, yes, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in the yellow here in place all the way down to Airdrie and Cochrane. Less likely, though, that we're going to see any of that activity further to the south here. Most of that activity and all of that activity should be between really Red Deer and up through Edmonton. Wetaskiwin, right there, severe thunderstorm warning in place. So again, this is where we're seeing the bulk of the active weather, and should see the bulk of the active weather in this area right up through the evening hours and the overnight hours, and we should be mainly clear south of Red Deer. Okay, so Calgary, yes, we've had some cloudy periods at times. All right, here's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Rider, it's free. Small chance of seeing an isolated shower this evening, but most likely we're just looking at some cloudy periods. 25 degrees for the next couple of hours here. Then 15 to kick off the day with a mix of sun and cloud in the morning. By 1 in the afternoon, we get into the risk of showers, and by 4 in the afternoon, we get into the risk of thunderstorm activity. Okay, and just a high of 19. Yep, already back into the teens tomorrow. 18 as well for Golden. Now showers likely in through Golden, Rocky Mountain House, Red Deer down to Olds throughout the day, and Calgary down through High River is more in the afternoon and later in the day with the risk of thunderstorms as well. Lethbridge looking at a high of 28, Medicine Hat 30, so still some heat tomorrow in the southeast corner and the far south, but for us just 19, and then just 15 for Saturday and 18 for Sunday, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Cleared of all charges, the high-profile sex assault trial of 5 former World Junior Hockey players comes to an end. The players were charged after an encounter that took place with a woman in a London, Ontario hotel room back in 2018. Today, the justice in the case didn't find the complainant to be credible or reliable. Advocates for victims of domestic violence say a new section of the criminal code should be created to help prevent future tragedies. That comes after the death of Madison Cobb, killed Saturday in Calgary, allegedly by an ex-boyfriend. And dozens of people are sick after eating at a restaurant at Saskatoon Farm last week. Alberta Health Services is now testing water and the food prep areas at the site near Okotoks. Fake online ads claiming to cure diseases or melt away fat instantly are spreading rapidly, and they're fooling thousands. The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning for Albertans, with scammers using deep fakes and phony endorsements to sell products that aren't approved or don't even exist. As Mark Villani reports, even trusted charities and health groups are being dragged into the deception.
I only recommend Rosabella Moringa to my patients. I've left the Amazon link in my bio.
They look real, they sound real, but these ads promising fast weight loss are anything but. Experts say artificial intelligence is making health fraud harder to spot and easier to spread.
You can make a news release about that content immediately, and you can even make fake studies that look extremely real. So real they trick experts.
It's an old scam with new tools, is how I'd put it.
The Better Business Bureau says false ads are flooding social media feeds and inboxes across Alberta, some using deep fake public figures, stolen logos, or phony doctors to sell unregulated products.
You don't want to be taking some sort of supplement or using some sort of device that is not legitimate. Beyond losing money, we don't want people, harming their health.
Even trusted nonprofits are being targeted. Obesity Canada calls these unauthorized ads deeply concerning. When trust is used to sell false hope, it puts people at risk. Meanwhile, Diabetes Canada says it's received more than 300 complaints this year alone, with fraudsters misusing its logo to push dangerous products.
Some of these things are talking about being able to monitor without touching your blood. Well, that probably just doesn't make any sense. We never endorse medical products or devices.
To stay safe, the Better Business Bureau says be wary of miracle claims, fake celebrities, hidden ingredients, and so-called free trials.
Be cautious, be skeptical, check with your healthcare provider.
The warning from experts is clear. Think twice before you click. Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
If you've lost money or personal information, report it to police and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. For more information, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. A drop in miners helped to pull Canadian stocks down today from yesterday's record close. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Andrew Bell.
Hello there. Toronto's composite stock index slipped today, weighed down in part by giant miner Teck Resources. Teck shares slipped after the company cut its 2025 copper production forecast to as low as 470,000 tons, mainly due to glitches at the company's gigantic Quebrada Blanca mine in Chile. But there was good news for Canada's mining industry. Teck will keep digging up copper at its Highland Valley mine in BC until 2046, adding about 18 years of life to the mine to feed growing demand for the red metal. The extension project will cost between $2.1 billion and $2.4 billion, Teck said. On the markets, the Canadian dollar changed hands at 73.31 cents US, down about 1/4 cent. West Texas Intermediate oil was up slightly. It traded at $66.03, up 78 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $53.19, down 1 cent. And the TSX Composite ended at 27,372.26, down just over 44 points. That's the latest in business. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
He set out on a great adventure, and he managed to knock 2 amazing things off his bucket list. We're hitting the trail in search of bison next. Wandering Spirit is the name of the design chosen to be Calgary's permanent Indian residential school memorial. The open, swirling design at the Confluence Historic Site will be a place for gatherings, ceremony, and healing. The project was Indigenous-led and honors the children who never returned home from residential school. The concept will be refined over the next few months, and details on construction will be announced at a later date. A Canmore hiking guide set off to find the bison herd in Banff National Park in the summer of 2022. On his quest to find the elusive animals, he accomplished another of his goals, hiking every marked trail in the national park. That's over 2,000 kilometers. Kevin Fleming reports.
He has a massive map of Banff National Park on his living room wall, and Jeff Douglas has kept track of every trail he's hiked by marking them in yellow and blue.
So mid-August to mid-September, I let my schedule as a guide be a little bit light, and if there's a 3-day or 4-day weather window, I have a very understanding wife and would see what I could accomplish during that time frame.
Douglas owns Mountain Goat Adventures and is a professional hiking guide. His wife supported his quest to hike all the trails and find the bison herd. She also made sure he was safe.
So usually at night and in the morning, Jeff will confirm via his InReach and the GPS device where he's at, if he's doing okay, if he needs anything, what his plan is for the day. So I always have an idea of the route he's taking as well, so I can track him along the way and make sure he's okay.
Parks Canada reintroduced 16 bison in the park in 2017. Since then, their numbers have grown to close to 135. They're monitored by staff who tries to make sure they stay within the park boundaries.
These bison certainly are wildlife, a lot like any other species in the park, and they're integrating into the landscape and improving the ecological integrity like we'd hoped.
This spring, on day 3 of his last 4-day hike, Douglas hit pay dirt and came across the bison.
I just sat down. I probably spent 45 minutes I didn't even pull up my phone or take my pack off. Just sat down on a rock and wanted to be present there. I've seen every animal in the park, and that was, I don't know why, that was just, it was really majestic. It was a bit emotional. The whole project came full circle, and I had an absolutely spectacular day without a cloud in the sky.
Both he and his wife are proud of his achievement in covering over 2,000 kilometers of trails in the park and hope it inspires others to explore it. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Canmore.
Wow, Parks Canada says visitors should stay at least 100 meters away from the bison. Do not approach, follow, or feed them. Well, we have lots of summer ahead for those kind of amazing adventures.
Yeah. And for the next 3 days, it's kind of like, wah, wah.
You can plan it. The next 3 days, plan it, and then by that time, it'll be sunny again.
Right. Right. I love the positivity. 19 degrees is our high for tomorrow, so significantly cooler tomorrow compared to today. We may get a little bit of sunshine in the morning. So in the morning, expect sun and cloud. And then by 1 in the afternoon, showers are likely. And by 4 p.m. tomorrow, thunderstorms are possible. And then just a high 15 with on and off showers for Saturday, 18. Small chance of showers, good chance of a lot of cloud cover on Sunday. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And this one from Bev Kozdraowski saying, let the sun shine in. This was taken this morning in Calgary.
That's a beautiful sunrise.
Isn't it? Yes. Really cool to see from your window in the morning.
Look out and see that in the morning. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.